And a very big welcome to another circuitry lesson on your ALP syllabus. And today we are going to focus on this little contraption over here. This component is your infrared sensor. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of infrared sensors over here. Just to orientate you, you will be able to see printed here, ground, 5 volts, out 1, out 2, all the way to out 5. Okay, out 1 corresponds to the first sensor, out 2, out 3, out 4, out 5. And the whole idea behind today's lesson is that I want to light up an RGB LED in its different colors depending on which sensor I cover. Okay, so that's the whole idea. Now, for today's lesson, you will need your infrared sensor. Now, I know it comes in a bag together with this strip of rainbow colored wires. We won't need this today because these are your female connectors. We won't need that today. So we'll need your infrared sensors. We need a couple of jumper wires for the infrared sensor. We'll need a RGB LED and a couple of wires, 4 to be exact, for your RGB LED. Alright? So first of all, what I want to do is I want to hook up the 5 volts and the ground. So I'm going to hook up the 5 volts and the ground. Okay, so by now you should know 5 volts goes to 5 volts and the ground goes to ground. So let's do that over here. I'm going to stick it somewhere on the left. Alright, so the ground, I'm going to do the ground here. This is the pin on my extreme left, the ground. So ground, as usual, I'm going to use a black jumper wire. Again, color doesn't matter, but it's always a good habit to have when you are talking about ground. Try to use a black jumper wire. Same thing, any hole along this row, because these holes are electrically connected to the ground pin. So over here, we will stick it into the ground. By now you should be able to recognize where the ground pin is. Okay, that's your ground pin. So let's stick it into the ground pin. Next, the 5 volts. The 5 volts VCC. It's the next pin. So I'm going to stick anywhere along this row. Anywhere along this row, a red jumper wire into the 5 volts pin. 5 volts goes here. Alright, looks good. Next is your out 1. Okay, so it's ground, 5 volts, out 1, out 2, out 3, out 4, out 5. Now, for your out 1 pin, over here, we are going to stick it into pin number 4. Okay, pin number 4 is somewhere here. Don't ask me why. Again, yes, you can ask me in class, but it's a long story. So just stick it into pin number 4, and we'll do that like so. Okay, your out 1 goes into pin number 4, like this. Okay, next would be your out 2. Out 2 will go into pin number A2. A2 is over here. If you look here, A2 is the pin here. This is A2. So I'm going to stick it into A2. And this goes into out 2. Right? Next would be your A3. A3 goes into A3 is connected to out 3. Out 4 along this row, out 4 is going to be connected to A4. And lastly, out 5, anywhere along this row is going to be connected to A5. Okay, so we have finished the connection from the infrared sensor to your Arduino. So now we are going to do the connection for your RGB LED. So if you remember, the long leg has to be connected to the positive power. So the long leg is the second leg. If you look here, the second leg, I'm gonna bend the RGB LED. The second leg is the long leg, right? So any hole along this row, this column here, is going to be electrically connected. So let's choose this hole. Okay, and we are going to connect this to your 3.3 volts. There's a 3.3 volts there. Let us stick that in here. Okay, so this is your long leg. Now let's go on to the other leg. So let's do the red leg. This is your RGB. So your red goes into pin 5. Okay, so let's pin it into pin 5 like so. Right, pin it into pin 5. G, green. Let's pin the green leg anywhere along these electrically connected holes to the green leg. We are going to pin it to pin 6 like so. So 5, 3.3 volts, pin 6. And the last one, the blue leg, we are going to pin it to pin 10 like so. So that's it, we are done, and we are going to create some codes and we are going to upload it into your Arduino. And that happens right now. Boom. Time. So, how to code for this fella? First of all, tell mblock that you're coding an Arduino program. Okay, and we are going to do something forever. We want Arduino to do something for us forever. That's modern day slavery. Okay, so we are going to create if blocks. If blocks. Okay. If digital pin, if we are reading a signal from digital pin 4, remember that is connected to our out 1, right? Then what we want to do is maybe not have any colors on the LED, the RGB LED. So what we want to do is we want to set PWM pin 5. It was 5. Remember the RGB was set to 5, 6 and 10, right? 5, 6, 10. So 5, remember we do not want it to light up, so it's 255. We have to do the same for pin 6. Remember it's 5, 6 and 10. So let's duplicate one more. Boom, there we go. 5, 6, 10. Okay, so if we have a reading, on this fella, we cover this fella, theoretically the LED should not light up. Theoretically, let's check it out how it works. Okay, so what happens if we cover the second one? So we can have the option of lighting up a red, for example, right? So let's copy this whole thing, duplicate, and we put it. So if pin 4 is red, nothing happens, right? If pin 4 is red, nothing happens. But what if pin 16 is red? Now, pin 16 actually corresponds to your analog pin A2. Again, don't ask me why, long backstory. Ask Mr. Izahan, he'll know the full story. So let's put, if we cover output 2, let's put red to light up. So red to light up is your RGB, so red, light it up. Okay, and we have the option of doing, let's create more space. So duplicate pin 17. Okay, so now instead of red, let's light up green. Okay, let's do the same for pin 18. 18 corresponds to out 3. So let's change this to 18. And let's light up your blue. Okay? Can? So we actually have not lit red, green, blue. But remember, we have out 1, out 2, out 3, out 4. We actually have one more out 5, right? So have you ever wondered what would happen if we lit up all 3 of the RGB LEDs? Let's find out. 19. Let's turn them all on. Like so. Okay, so just to reiterate the codes that we have constructed, we are telling mBlock, hey, we are going to make an Arduino program. I want you to do something for me forever without getting paid. And if you read the digital pin 4, if you read a signal from pin 4, if I cover pin 4, don't light up the LED. If I cover out 1, light up the red. If I cover out 2, light up the green. If I cover out 4, light up the blue. And if I cover out 5, light them all up. Let's see what happens. And this is what it looks like completed. Cover the first one, nothing lights up. Cover the first one, red. Cover the second one, green. Cover the third one, blue, your RGB. And what do you think will happen if we cover all 3? So RGB is what we have, and all 3, last one, what color will we get? Think about it. Yes, we get white light. Yeah, so when all the colors light up, we get a pure white light. Let's turn it, let's test it again. Turn it off, and yeah, so there it is. Right, so right now you can test out, try out different combinations of colors and see what you get. Okay, have fun. Peace out.